In this video, I'll show you the basics of shooting in Milky Way time-lapse, including the gear you're going to need, the settings to use, and the basic editing workflow. To create a time-lapse, you'll need a camera, a wide fast lens, a sturdy tripod, and an intervalometer. These 4 pieces of gear are the foundation for capturing smooth and consistent night sky sequences. The intervalometer is important because it triggers the camera automatically over hundreds of frames. It keeps the timing exact so the motion looks smooth, and it lets the camera shoot without you having to touch it. Some cameras have internal intervalometers, and you can check your manual to see if your camera is one of them. Make sure your camera and intervalometer batteries are fully charged before you start, because long time lapses can drain them quickly. Just like Milky Way photography, planning is everything. Choose a location with dark skies and check when the Milky Way core will be visible. Apps like PhotoPills or Planet Pro make it easy to see where the Milky Way will be in the sky and what time it rises. Try to arrive at your location in the daylight so that you can look around for interesting subjects in your composition. Use PhotoPills to pick an interesting composition that lines up with the Milky Way. Before that composition happens is when you want to start setting up your camera to get ready to take the picture. Set up your tripod and camera facing your subject and get everything lined up how you want it. You can even do this in the daylight. Next, set your camera to manual mode. We want full control. Use the same settings you would for a single Milky Way photo. Your lens's widest aperture, a shutter speed between 13 and 20 seconds, and an ISO between 3200 and 6400. Next, set your white balance. I set mine to 4200 Kelvin for my Canon cameras. Start there and make adjustments to find the temperature that best fits your specific camera. Keeping these settings consistent across every frame is what creates a clean and stable time-lapse. For exact settings for your specific gear, you can check out my Milky Way time-lapse calculator using the link in the description below. Next, set up your intervalometer. Your interval should be at least 2 or 3 seconds longer than your shutter speed. For example, if your shutter is 20 seconds, set your intervalometer to 22 or 23 seconds. This gives the camera just enough time to write the image to the card before taking the next shot. Every camera is a little different, so make sure you test the interval to get continuous pictures. You may need to increase the time. Set the intervalometer to take the number of pictures you want for your time-lapse. Are you not sure how many pictures you're going to need? Well, my Milky Way time-lapse calculator will help you with that too. I generally set my interval to take infinite pictures, and then I set a timer on my phone to come back and stop it when the time-lapse is finished. Our last step is to dial in our focus. Set your lens to manual focus, set the focus to infinity, and press the button to turn on live view. Find a bright star in the frame, hit the zoom in button, and make sure the star is inside the box. Push the zoom button until you are zoomed in to 10 times and can see the star. Now, slowly turn your focus ring. Your goal is to make that point of light shrink into the smallest, sharpest dot possible. Turn past the focus and then back again until you find the exact point where it looks perfectly crisp. Once it looks good in live view, take a test shot. Zoom all the way into the image you just captured and check to make sure that the star looks sharp. If it looks soft, make tiny adjustments to the focus ring. Even a millimeter of rotation makes a noticeable difference at night. Take another test shot and repeat this until the star is razor sharp. Once everything is set, start the intervalometer and let the camera run. Most Milky Way time-lapses take an hour or 2 to get enough seconds for a quick social media video. But shooting a longer time-lapse will give you a longer video, so if your battery and memory card allow it, go for it. After shooting, you'll bring all those frames into a program like Lightroom. You'll apply basic edits to one frame and then you'll sync all those edits to the others. Then you'll export all those images as JPEGs. Let me show you a quick basic edit. The first thing we want to do is pick one image. So just start with your first image of your time-lapse sequence. Go into the Develop module. To do the white balance here, it looks pretty good. I might go just a little bit more blue. I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to raise my exposure a little bit, put a little bit of contrast in there. Highlights of the shadows, maybe a little bit. I just do my standard 8, 8, and 8
Maybe a little more dehaze. That does make it a little bit darker. You just don't want to overdo it and make it look fake. So I'm going to say maybe 12 for that one. Maybe we could bring those highlights up just a little. So I'm going to come here, sharpening, and maybe bring that up just a little. Probably do my denoise around 20. Click remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. Did not recognize the lens. This was a Rokinon 24 millimeter. It always thinks it's the 14, but it is 28 4.1. So you can see there the difference. Just kind of flattens everything out, gets rid of some of those distortions. The next thing that I'm going to do is come here to the hue, saturation, and luminance, because there's a lot of orange from this not pleasant light. This was actually from the same location as my last video. And so we're just going to bring that down, maybe a little bit of yellow. And also I might just bring the luminance down just a little. I might maybe bring up the highlights just a little bit. So I'll increase that clarity. Because this is going to be on people's phones, you want it to be a little bit maybe brighter than you think it might need to be. And if you feel like that maybe is making the sky a little too bright, then we could bring the shadows down and decrease this black point just a little bit. And that's going to help kind of just bring out that dark area of the Milky Way. Now, the next part that we need to do is we will crop it. So I'm going to share this on social media. So I'm going to do it as 16:9. It's already vertical. And I'm just going to position this wherever I would like. This is a little distracting. So I'm actually going to come over here this way, just maybe a little bit. And I may actually crop in a little bit more. And now I've applied that crop and it's removed some of those distractions. Now I've edited this one image. So I have this image selected, my first image. So I'm going to go all the way here. Then I'm going to hit the Shift key and click the one on the very end. So I select all the way to the end, click that Shift key, and then you need to make sure you're in the Develop module for this to work. Hit Sync, you click, in this case, we want everything. If you did some masks, you're going to click Mask, and then you're going to say Synchronize, and it is going to just paste all of those settings. And now we see here are some of the final ones. See, they're all consistent. Everything looks good. Once that is done, we'll select all, and then we would go to File. I'm going to say Export. And then I have a setting here that I do time lapses. And it just does the JPEG at 100%. It's just a JPEG and it will save it in a folder called time lapse. And then you could name that whatever you want. And then I'm going to just export that.
Once you have exported your JPEGs, use a free video editing program like DaVinci Resolve to create the final video. Video editing software gives you more control and it brings your sequence together beautifully. Here's what the final time-lapse looks like. If you want a full step-by-step deep dive into shooting, editing, and exporting Milky Way time-lapses, check out my complete course linked in the description below. With Milky Way in Motion, I walk you through the entire advanced editing workflow, from planning a shoot to capturing professional quality frames to editing smooth motion using Lightroom and DaVinci Resolve. If you're ready to create cinematic Milky Way time lapses that look incredible on YouTube and other social media platforms, click the link and join today. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing for more astrophotography tutorials. Take care and clear skies.